This I believe. I'll never forget and think about often the first time I witnessed a student crying. Big tears rolled down his cheeks, and when I looked at him, he didn't look away. It's so embarrassing that I can't read, and why do I even have to learn this? I don't understand. I just like using my hands and fixing stuff. Hard questions to answer, and no answer will be enough to hold his heart how he needs. And besides, he really does know how to fix stuff, always keeping an eye out for things that need mending around the school, explaining to me how simple it would be to fix my broken bike. He even knows how to fix an argument. He knows how to apologize, and he knows how to listen. But he's 13 and he hasn't learned how to read, and that seems to be the thing all the grown-ups want to talk about. I keep my own tears from showing, but maybe I should have let him see, so that he knew that I knew. We spend the next year working together. Outside is best, somewhere he can use his hands, clearing spider webs, repairing various structures around the school, raking leaves. He listens while I read. We make it through The Princess Bride, countless short stories. He follows along in graphic novels, fills me in on the parts I've missed since I only work with him in the latter part of the week. He sees a specialist for reading practice, and sometimes we work on that too when he's willing. Sometimes he isn't. He doesn't make it anywhere near grade level in reading this year, but we find ways for him to complete his assignments, and he's proud of earning high grades. And for the first time in his life, he likes being at school, has made friends, and even wants to come back next year. Still, some days are hard and he shuts down. But he comes to school every day, and even though I'm just an assistant in his classroom, I want to come to school too, even on my hard days, because I don't want to be another teacher who let him down. Toward the end of the year, we're sitting outside in the crack shack, as the students call it, a dingy wooden hut that the students escaped to during break, which he has single-handedly cleared all the garbage out of, cleaned the benches, installed garbage cans that he tracked down from the office, and gotten all the spiders out of, and we're reading American-Born Chinese. He's tuned in, but suddenly interrupts me mid-sentence and says, "You're the coolest teacher I've ever had. No one else ever let me do my work outside," which makes no sense, because it's easier for me to focus outside where I can be doing something useful. And in that moment, I know that this student has experienced at least a small bit of repair to his relationship with learning, and my heart swells. And for the first time in my life, I think, maybe this is a place for me. A place to commit to the lifelong process of learning through teaching. For this, I believe. My job as a teacher is to remain ever in the practice of learning, ever attentive to the reciprocal relationships between my students and myself. Always in reflection, asking myself, my students, and my colleagues, what can I do better or differently? If you are my student and you are not succeeding, who determines the meaning of success? What is the purpose of your success, as in, who does it serve? How can I widen my perspective to make room for yours? How can I meet you where you are and help you reach your goals? For I believe that one of the most powerful and universal needs for all people, and especially the young, is to be seen and listened to. As a teacher, I must go one step further and respond, both in the daily moments and in the ways that I shape my lessons, my classroom culture, and how I am vigilant in remaining flexible. I must always remember that in academic space there lies an embedded history of power between the individual and the institution. I believe my role is to act as an arm for my students, an extension connecting them to their futures, and not to function merely as an arm for the institution. And only by committing to this can I stay in the practice of lifelong learning.